Alrighty, we're going to run a new circuit from this breaker box here, and we're going to use some 12-2 wire. Here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps, 10 American wire gauge on 30 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So we're going to run this wire into this breaker box, and we're going to run a circuit for a 110, 120 volt sump pump. So first we'll set our box on here. Next one on here. If you look closely here, you'll see the wire is made here in the country I was born in. That's a nice thing to see. And I forgot my knife, but you know what? I'm not complaining about it. I'm not carrying on about it. I'm not pissing and moaning. I'm just going to be thankful I forgot it and be thankful for the challenge of stripping it the hard way. That's all. You don't get upset about anything. It's not worth it. Just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So therefore, you just strip it the hard way. That's all. You just do it the hard way. You don't piss and moan. You don't carry on. It's not any good for you at all. Nothing at all. Will not help you at all to complain and piss and moan and take God's name in vain and all that jazz. It does not help you. Just do it the hard way and be glad. Be thankful for what you remembered and don't complain about what you forgot. Because guess what? It's not going to help you. It's not going to bring back what you forgot. So you leave what's forgotten behind you. It's in the past. So you just don't frustrate over it. Because it's not going to help you a bit. Not one bit. So be thankful you forgot it. Because it's a challenge, not a problem. And I'll just cut off a little bit of wire here I mutilated. Tap this thing on there tight. Alright, so we're going to put our GFI and switch on this box here. So we got to put our green bonding screw into the bottom of our box here. You go around the screw the direction that the screw turns. Close our loop up there. So it looks like that there. We get a nice connection. And we're going to tail to our switch in our GFI. We're going to use our Wago, our lever connector. Put our copper in all the way. Make sure our copper comes up to the top. Get a piece of ground wire here. Get our two tails here, one to go to the switch and one to go to the GFI. So lift up our other lever here. And snap it down like that. We'll lift up our other one. I'm not putting any stress on my left hand. I'm just holding stuff with it and not putting pressure on it. There we go. See all our copper is even at the top here, so we can push this down into our box here. Put our mud ring on here, so we put our two devices in it. So we'll put our 20 amp GFI in here. And we'll put our commercial grade light switch in here. These have the pressure plate terminals on them. So we'll clip our white down a little bit shorter here. And we'll clip our black shorter, about the same length here. So we'll strip a little bit off of our black on both sides for our GFI and our switch. We'll make sure our wire gets under the pressure plate all the way here. Make sure our copper comes up to the top there. Make sure our insulation doesn't get caught under the pressure plate. Okay, so now I can hold this and snug it down. Okay, there's our tail to go over to our GFI. Strip our black wire, that'll go onto the switch. Here in the country I was born in, down is off, up is on. So we'll put our other black wire under this pressure plate. Okay, I stripped it a little long. Be careful not to put stress on my left hand. Make sure it's tight. And get our one of our ground wires. We'll go around our green screw here. Make sure it's tight. Okay, now we can fold our wires. We can push this down into our box here. So one next one going our GFI. Oh, it is in way. And I'll finish it by hand so I don't strip the holes out. Strip our neutral wire here. Okay, on the back of the GFI, you'll see where it says line and load. So this is the line up here, this is the load down here. So we're going to close these screws on the load side so they don't float around and touch something we don't want it to touch. So here in the country I was born in, your black goes on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot. The white goes on the silver screw, which is the wider slot, or if it's a 20 amp, will be the T slot, and the bitter green wire goes on that green screw. So we'll start with hooking our black one to the line brass screw here. I have the one that says line. Yep, that's the line. So we're going to put our black on this brass terminal here. Although the line ones aren't open. Let's make sure that says line. Okay, that's the line. So we'll put our black under the line terminal. Make sure our insulation is not caught under the pressure plate. So there's our line. Let's make sure this is nice and tight. Okay, we'll flip this over and we'll get our white. So we're going to make sure this black wire goes down out of the way here. And we'll get our ground wire under our green screw here. Make sure it's nice and straight. So I can get that to tighten without putting stress on my left hand. There we go, we got it nice and tight. I'll try the Phillips. Okay, it's tight. Now we'll get our white wire under our silver colored terminal here. Make sure our insulation doesn't get pinched under the pressure plate. Make sure it's tight. Now we can fold our wires down into our box and make sure that they're not going to push against something that will short it out. So we'll just bend it back over this way underneath. And we got our white wire down in here. Okay, now we can tighten this up by hand so we don't strip our holes out. There's on and off. And I'm going to just take my light and look down in there. I see a wire pinched a little bit under the white right behind the black, so I'm going to lift this up and just move it so it doesn't get poked under there. I'm going to move this black wire away from the white here. There. Can't get close to that screw there, so that's why I moved it down. It's David, I'm down here. Okay, so we got our box together, so now we're ready we can hang it where we want it. There's the hole where the sump pump is, and we're going to put it up in the rafters up here. can't, I can't. I'm going to try. That's the best it's going to be. It's nice and solid. So we get a couple staples up in here. No sharp edge in there. Wow, there's something pretty old, some writing, September 1902. Something was going on back then here. So this building was probably built right around the turn of the century. There's no nail here. And we're going to go up into this panel over here. enjoy forgetting my knife, because you just take the challenge and do it the hard way, that's all. Because cursing God and pissing and moaning and complaining is not going to bring it back. It's not going to help you a bit. So I just rejoice in doing it the hard way, that's all. I can't pull or force on my left hand, so I just enjoyed doing it the hard way, that's all. Because you know what? It's a challenge, not a problem. Just praise God, be thankful for what you have. Be glad you remembered what you remembered. Instead of focusing on what you don't have and what you can't do and what you forgot and complaining all the time, just be thankful for what you have and just do the best you can. So we take our ground. This is a main box. You can put your neutrals and grounds on the same bus bar. So we'll bring our ground wire over, bend it down. We'll find an open terminal. We can go right in this very top one here. I'll close this one that's not being used. Make sure our copper is going through all the way there. It's not going through. It's a joy not to be able to see too. Just gotta learn to love it. Yeah, our ground wire is through now. So I'll get back out of our way. Now here's our other screw that's open right here. I can't open it. So let's look for another one that's open. Here's another one that's open right here. So I'll bring our white wire over to the corner here. We'll bend it down and we'll go in. Where is it? Right here. So I'll bend it right here. That's going to come off easy without having to force it. take our 20 amp breaker, we'll stick it in the box here. In the off position, we'll bring our black wire over, we'll bring it down. Bring it over here. And we'll clip it about right here. Push it in, we'll take our, oops, we have our other number 2 screwdriver. This one takes a number 2 square. So we'll just push it in the hole here, tighten it up. Make sure it's tight. And we'll just push our wires back into our box here. And now what I'll do is I'll just go down through my neutral bar and check all my connections to make sure they're all tight. All the ones that have a wire on them are tight. These are ones I didn't put in. Or ones somebody else did. This one I did. That one's one I did. That one wasn't quite perfectly tight. And that one wasn't really tight. That one wasn't tight. That neutral is tight. Okay, so we got all our neutral bars tight. Check our mains coming in, make sure they're tight. Ooh, that wasn't tight. That one was tight. Check the rest of these here, make sure they're tight. That one wasn't tight. I'll check. These are ones I put in. See that loosened enough? That one's tight. Okay, so we got everything all nice and tight. Okay, now we're ready to put our cover back on the box. I'm going to make sure our screws aren't going to hit anything, or none of our wires are going to be pinched anywhere. Let's make sure our breakers are all in the box, seated properly. And they are. So now we can get a few more staples in here. A little bit one up here. Get up! I staple across the bottom. I want to make sure there's no nail here in the way. Making sure there's no nail under here. Alrighty, so that is how to run a new branch circuit here in the country I was born in. Peace. Thanks for watching. You can see the wire is made here in the country I was born in. That's a nice thing to see. Alrighty, so now we'll turn our switch on. Our GFI is tripped. We'll push the reset button, it's off. Test it, it's tripped. Push the reset button, and it's working. Peace. Thanks for watching.